Shifting meridians. Alignment. Instability in field. Negative. Charged aligning matrix field. Positive. Coordinates reached, Commander.
Activate the Sade field.
Activations of multidimensional engines.
Launch communications probe.
Power levels to maximum.
Activate all dimensional levels of communication.
Communication established.
The voice you hear is known as Bob. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. This is the last slave planet in the galaxy. Under all agreement, under all rights, under galactic law, we now proclaim this planet free. The descension of the true human consciousness has begun.
Energizing Shambhala diamonds.
The men, women, and children of this planet are now set free.
Grid fields activated.
You have already reached
Activate Shambhala diamond.
critical mass.
Integration onto microcosm. Expanding linear space.
Prepare for landing. Prepare for landing. Prepare for landing.
Free space activation. Landing. Caution. All crew members to station. This is the Starship Bob. We are landing.
Right, what we're doing this evening, it's a Darkcity show, as usual. The numbers are, if you're out there listening, not too many of us. Well, that's good to see you out there. A few reactions are better. That's what I like. So yeah, phone numbers, 0161 298 0298. If you're inside the UK, if you're outside the UK, it's +44 or 0044. It just kind of depends, really. It's supposed to be universally in a bit of a mess. So yeah, the plus stands for 00, basically. So +44 161 298 0298. Alternatively, you can Skype us. That's the Skype program. If you've never used it, don't bother. Get Mumble. Go to the Darkcity website at www.darkcityradio.com or .co.uk, both the same place, and click the radio tab and you'll see Mumble, and that'll teach you all about Mumble, how to install it, how to put it in, and how to join us in the Mumble chat room. Of course, that's where we are going towards that eventually. So while you're on that website, if you don't want to have audio and you just want to have text, of course, Mumble does audio and text, but if you don't, and you don't want to bother with all that setting up and stuff, just click the big tab right at the top that says click here to enter chat. And that will take you pretty much through to our AnonNet chat room, which is #Bob's Backyard. So that's the channel, that's that. You've got the Skype, you've got the Mumble, you've got a website, you've got Lee, you've got Sparky, and you've got me. Kicking about, we have the other Paul, who's about somewhere in the kitchen, and we got Sarah from the I Am Show. She's kicking about. So yeah, if you are out there and you want to join us, do so. Do so. I've also got Joe Fort, who may be joining us a little bit later. Another one of our Canadian brothers and sisters. I've just connected up with him. Big supporter of what we do. Yeah, he's actually currently on his way home. And he's been texting me on Facebook saying, you can use the tools of the devil. Yes, we can. But often the number of groups I've noticed just recently that are actually quite fragmented, really are. Really fragmented. If we can, in our little way, bring those groups together, and that was a lot of the idea of Darkcity Radio in the onset, way before the website or the radio. There was a little site called Bob's Backyard. I know most people will know that for the aquaponics and hydroponics, but the original idea of, myself there, was to create a portal. That's what we called it. That was its working title. And that title eventually, what could you say, progressed to a website called It's Just a Ride? It's Just a Ride. And I do believe you can still find that website. I think it may be, I don't know, I'll check, but I think it could be www.bobsbackyard.co.uk / It's Just a Ride. It may still be there. And basically all it was a link site. The idea being is different people with different ideas had come in to that portal, or to It's Just a Ride, on whatever ride they were on. Basically ideas outside the box, or what we now call divergent thinkers, through all fields of life and experience, to bring that collective knowledge together to bring forth solution, or now what we would say was implement that solution. Of course, some people would say, well, that never occurred. Over the last few weeks, we have seen that start to happen, where we have had people from different walks of life come in from very different situations with different life skills and experiences, and put all that to one side. Nearly everyone at Darkcity has 2 jobs. In fact, if you can't handle 3 jobs, really, actually about 6, you're just not going to make the grade. Every one of us has our own skills, of course, before we came, whatever it was we were doing previously. But in this short space of time, we've learned to develop, you wouldn't believe it. Some of it we're rubbish at. Well, I am, personally. Rubbish at certain things. I'll freely admit it. Far from perfect on many levels. Other things I excel at. So people tell me I'm not too good at seeing the things that I excel at. I think a lot of us go through that. However, the things I'm rubbish at seem to get plugged by the ones around me now that excel. Not to prop one another up, of course. Not to support one another. It's like I say, we all came here as individuals under our own power. None of us quite knowing what the so-called agenda was, even our own. And in that alone, in not knowing, we actually found something a little bit bigger than all of us could imagine. Or at least I could. The portal. Bob's Backyard and Darkcity, I once saw as reaching out from that. Of course, I didn't see Darkcity back then. But another divergent, or not even alternative, you see, different. Let's not be right or wrong, let's be different. Can't we just be different? Something that I pondered with for a while. Well, I see that starting to happen. Jabba, our webmaster, also Babylon Decoded, also a brilliant musician and stuff, like I say, you notice these people, they've all got 2 and 3 and 4 jobs, at least. And the more I look, the more skills they seem to have, or they're actually currently developing. But Jabba said to us the other day, I was trying to work out figures on the site, and I actually got the figures that people really need to know. Well, they're out of date now. They're out of date. It was from the 1st to the 11th of this month. Remember, this is a brand new website. 750,000. 750,000 hits. I know some of them can be only for a few seconds and stuff, but yeah. But even so, it's a hell of a lot of hits on a website for 11 days. I was told that if you can get 1 million hits, they can't take you out. It's like, take me out of where? Out of the internet. Just don't get it. But people are using it. It's coming together. 36 different countries. I think I've got it right. Thereabouts. Already. More people coming along and going, wow, what we're doing. What we're doing. Now, a lot of that is connected to Rick Simpson. Well, I don't want people to take anything away of what we've all done here. All of us on Darkcity. And Rick himself, you know, hangs around now. He said he wanted to be part of the crew. Part of the Darkcity crew. A very humble man. Very humble man. Blew us all away a bit back then, I suppose. You were around then, Sparky, weren't you? And you, Lee. Callie and Prads, and I hope you two are doing alright. If for any remote chance you are out there. Oh, day 13. 960,000 hits. In 13 days, brothers and sisters. 40,000 will hit 1 million in 13 days. How about that? I don't know if that's good or not. I really don't know if that's good or not. Nowadays. It's some going. But like I say, Rick, part of the crew, drifting through the shows now. It was really funny. Sudama sent me a text the other day. Another great supporter. You know, guy who does, you know, he does a lot of work on and off the station. And also he's had his own issues to deal with. And, you know, it's never easy. Never easy when you find yourself confronted by authority and you know your position is right and just. Even though these people do stand, they are getting, you know, knocked down. And that takes some getting up. And my heart goes out to everyone who, you know, gets themselves in that position. So anyway, nice to have Rick coming in and out. But, like I say, I really don't want us to lose track of it. Okay, it's got to remain organic. Of course it's got to grow. It's got to change. It's got to flux and move more like an animal or a creeping vine rather than an architected, constructed building or tool. It has to be a layout loud to grow. But of course, many would say this would be out of control. They're probably right. It probably will go faster than any of us. We'll probably find times like we just can't cope. I know I have over the last few months. I can't possibly able to do it all. But sure enough, other great words, wise words. Just do what you can. Just do what you can. And sure enough, we've always got through. We've always got through. So it was back in March. It was back in March. Rick first came. You see, this is why I want to get it. Although I am talking about Rick, it isn't really about him. You know, sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? He's a great buddy as well. It was about the team then. The team. The Darkcity crew. It is more of a crew than a team because you don't get picked. You know, you don't come along and go, I'll have you, I'll have you. You know, even if you're the fat kid at the end of the line, right, you know, you can't kick a ball. You see, I couldn't kick a ball when I was rubbish at sports. I was always don't pick him. Come on, he's rubbish. I was always the last. So even if you're the last kid, there isn't. It's a crew. You remember a crew. You know, and that's what you remember. The crew's all playing together. The crew is playing together. And at the end of our game, we've got a crew. Yeah, that's what we've got. So it is more of a crew than a team. That team decided at that time that they'd focus We'd pull his energies together and we'd push through. We'd lay our own personal things to one side and we'd push through. I'd just like to add, although it has got a lot of Rick's promoting, I suppose, what the information he's trying to get out to the world. I'm right on with it, and I have a lot of personal, physical to gain from this as well. I really do. In living a much healthier lifestyle and being much healthier in myself. However, like I say, I'm going to keep swinging back to this. It wasn't me who decided to do that. It was after the first show with Callie and Pridesner and Rick Simpson. It's funny how you lose things and other things are replaced by them. You know, I don't think you can ever replace things. But, you know, as you move on, it's that organic nature. At least that's the way I like to see it. It's organic. So yeah, Darkcity Radio. Yeah, where have we come? Where are we going to and what are we doing? I'd like to see us doing more projects like Rick Simpson. I really would. Like I say, I know, we're stretched. We are all stretched out at the moment. I appreciate that. So yeah. Lee's just gone to his kitchen, so I might just call him back now. He's been there 2 minutes. No, I won't. So people have asked where we're up to and what's actually going on. And I don't want everybody to forget that this is about us lot coming together. This is working. This is actually working. And if nothing else, we can prove to ourselves that we do make a difference on individual levels. And we still don't take no shit. We don't take no shit. Okay, you can talk it. And we'll tell you, no, we don't agree, you know. And you can talk it again. You can restructure your question. The answer will remain the same. And then you can restructure your question a third time and we'll have to get Bob out of the closet and he'll have to tell you all to F off. And you know, because, you know, once, yeah, okay, fair enough, you know. Once bitten, twice shy, 3 times stupidity. So we don't take none. We're not having it. We've got our own to deal with, you see. Can't take it off anyone else. How did it all start? How did it all start? Right, well, I kind of already touched on that. How did it all start? I think it started with an idea. You know, the same with Rick Simpson, the same with Darkcity Radio. It started with an idea. Now, of course, a lot of people say, well, whose idea was it? Who originally had the idea? You know, well, an idea doesn't really belong to anybody. Ideas, people get ideas and they interpret them in many, many different ways. Many different ways. It's the ones that actually get rolling. And don't worry, if you've had a great idea and you thought, well, that's my idea, and somebody else pinched it. No, they didn't actually pinch it. They really didn't pinch your idea. It's an idea, and some of them ideas, they're big enough without us. You know, if we don't take these opportunities, if we don't take them, then they'll roll along without us. That's what they'll do. Because they're a good idea. And good ideas, they don't really need a lot to get them going. They don't. And once they're going, they just need us to come along and give them a nudge and keep pushing them just occasionally. And that keeps that momentum going. Now, a bad idea, and this is how you can tell. You see, how many people have listened to me rant before? They'll know I'm not really into right and wrong, right? Or good or bad. I'm into different. But I'll tell you, a bad idea, right, is one that takes thousands and thousands of man hours, millions of years, and loads of money and loads of stuff, right? You know, right? Just stuff. Loads of it, right? Minerals and wood and metal and loads of stuff, right? And then you all got to push as hard as you can and it might move. You see, you might get it to work. That's a bad idea. It doesn't mean that the people who are pushing it, the people who are putting the resources into it, the finances or whatever it is they're putting into it, you know what I mean? The stuff, right? Your stuff. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means it's a bad idea. So another one was compassion. Really, I haven't really got a lot. I haven't really got a lot of compassion. I don't do a great deal of it. Another great friend of mine, he said to me, "Well, you need to learn about compassion." And I'm like, "For what and who? For what and who? You know, for those that I've judged to have done me wrong, for those that I think maybe are in a position what's not, you know, necessarily suited to me. You know, is that the case? Is that what it's about?" And he said, "No, for yourself. Show it for yourself. You shouldn't be so hard on yourself." And I think you were right. And I think in all them cases, that's what you do, or you should, maybe, you know. Have a bit of compassion for yourself. Seize those moments. And I get for a lot of people, and I've seen this myself, it can be a bit hard to kind of focus your energies into, you know, one project. It can be a little bit hard to do that. It can. However, we've learned, quite a few of us, who are here on Darkcity, that it's all right to go off. It's all right to kind of go and find yourself, go and learn a new skill. I remember I'm going to have to reflect to another question when I get past this one. So yeah, compassion for who or for what? Well, for myself. Because then you can forgive yourself for your interactions. You can forgive yourself for all those times when you were pushing that bad idea with all your mates up that hill, insisting you get it, only to lose your grip at the last minute and have it roll back down and crush everything you know. Sometimes we're pushing in the wrong direction. Sometimes we're asking for those that cannot do it. And other times, there's never anything to ask. Because you've got it up that hill, and this time, you made it. You shoved it over it. You stand there and watch it roll down. Yay! And you know what we do? We all run down that hill. Every one of us. We all run down that hill. We run all the way down. We grab hold of it and we start shoving it back up again. Because that's what we're good at doing. We're good at finding things. Good ideas. All of us. We tracked it down. So yeah, by having compassion for myself, I could have and recognise where others were astray. They were astray. They were a bit lost. So again, I do the things I do here. I'm not actually doing for anybody else. I'm not actually doing this for anybody else. I don't want people to think that. All right? And me, Paul Hayden, the one who plays the character of Bob, okay, is not here on my own. This is not about me doing this. It isn't. It's about the team. It's about your focus of energy. It's about all them people tuning in together. I reckon one of us, no, I don't reckon, I know one of us makes a difference. We make a difference every day. Every moment of every day we make a difference. Might only be a little difference, you know. Might just be changing oxygen into CO2, you know. Might not be anything great, you know. As somebody rolls back in the chair and lets one rip, there you go. You just created a little tiny bit of change, you know. We all are, all the time. But I reckon when we work together, there's nothing we can't achieve. And the amount of time it takes us to do it is governed by our egos and our fears. That's where I reckon. So I appreciate it. I appreciate some of the beautiful things people have said over the last few weeks. Lo and behold, it's better than the stuff that has been said previously. But again, compliments are beautiful, but words can be also harsh. Let's focus that energy into making these things real. We'll plug up the holes in our city. The audio, I don't know if you've noticed, I don't speak of it now, but I don't know if you've all noticed out there, that audio, that server's kind of got sorted out. Our mate Dan, the Linux man, hopefully he's going to come on and do a bit of a show himself, Dan. Put a lot of work in the station behind the scenes. So soon, Dan will do a bit of a show. That should be good stuff. So they're working. It's getting tougher. We never got the third server built. Just don't know why. It's all working. We do want to put the third and fourth and fifth in and so forth as we start to link up around the world. It would be a real cool way to do it, and we want to do that. That is part of the organic nature of it. But also, he's not pushing things too hard. That's also the organic nature. Is not to have it, rammed down the throat. You can't. If you overfeed your plants, you overfeed your puppy, you overfeed your family. Feed them too much. Keep ramming food in them. Keep taking them to McDonald's every single day. They'll swell up and explode. Okay, everything does. It's not the right thing to do. And that's the right and wrong for me. Does it hurt them? Does it mess them up? Well, we're all dying, aren't we? Slowly, so they say, in this form. These bodies are getting maturer. They say it's older. I don't know if I do older anymore. I've seen some really young people in young bodies with really mature minds. Many can grasp it. Many can grasp it at a really early age. Often we seem to lead people with what we think to be true, that others told us they thought, that someone else told them that they thought might be correct. And as it turns out, it would be S. But hey, it's Chinese whispers. Is that what we call it? I don't mean to be unpolitically correct here. But whispers all the way from China, passed by one to another, and by the time they arrive here, we have a butterfly. What? No, he said, send us 2 pints of lager. By the time it arrives, I didn't want a butterfly. So yeah, the stories can get changed and twisted, and sometimes for artistic license. So yeah, working together, bringing people together and allowing them to be organic, letting them fit in a place. Some of them work better in big groups, some in small groups, and so forth. So, Barry, come on, why can't I be a member of the Compassion Club? All right, because I've got no compassion for...
Because you got no compassion, Paul. Come on, man. I typed that in there. Thought I'd get your attention.
Yeah.
Oh, no, hey, you can be a member, Paul. Well, I think you'll make you president.
Yeah, well, it's something I don't like, really, but yeah.
You are president. You're president from now until we have our first elections, whenever that is.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to. Yeah, that was my
intern. You're the interim president.
Yeah, for the first 12 months. Yeah, once we get it sorted out, I have actually agreed to that, Barry. Like I say, it's I'm not interested in being El Presidente. I know what they do to the president. President gets shot.
Too much bloody paperwork with that job, man.
Yeah.
But hey, it's amazing.
Well, that's what
to
it
see
is.
How fast,
Really, Barry.
it's amazing. It's amazing to see how fast this is coming now, Paul, and how much interest is being generated by this whole project, and the whole concept is grabbing people, and it's really cool. I got some real input from the island today. People that were reading the text or the web or the info you sent me yesterday. I sent that to a lot of people, and I got some real cool compliments on it today, bud. Real good concept and blah blah blah, and people asking about how to get involved, and I said Darkcity Radio donate button.
Yeah, I've done that.
It's cool to see the interest, Paul. It is. It's cool to see the interest.
Well, I've done that a few times, Barry, and it's not because I'm not. It's not that I'm trying to stop people talking to Rick Simpson. Okay, it's because I'm trying to stop people talking to Rick Simpson. Oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, yeah.
that I'm not trying to... Yeah, right. The reason why we don't give out anybody's information, whether it's email, phone, personal, anything at all, okay, is because it's rude to do that. If somebody wants to get in touch with people, like Barry, if somebody wants to get in touch with Barry, and they've got my details at Bob's Backyard, and that's why we use Bob's Backyard, then them are passed on. You know what I mean? Somebody contacts me, I can't get hold of Bob. I go, right, here you go. Barry, this person's trying to get hold of you. Chris, yeah, this person's trying to get hold of you. Rick Simpson, yeah, this person's trying to get hold of you. Now, in all fairness, Barry's experienced it over the last week, haven't you, Barry?
Oh, it's crazy here, Paul. It is. I mean,
Did the local dam break, Barry? Have you felt like you've been watched? Did you have to cling on to your monitor when you switched it off for the title of email like in your face?
Well, the thing, Paul, I wasn't quite prepared for this. You know, I mean, when I first asked Rick to come out to BC, it was kind of like, okay, come on out and spend some time in BC and have a holiday. But it's turned into quite an ordeal now, which is really cool because the word has to get out there, and I think we're going to have a real impact on this community in British Columbia, my friend. And his timing is just perfect. So, like I said, I'm being bombarded here with emails. Like that gentleman I talked to you about this morning, he is just super active all of a sudden. And the people on the island, I was receiving emails from them. I was talking to Selmo this morning. All the setups are all there, man. They're just asking me for firm dates, and I've just about got them all on a calendar now. It's going to be a 9-day tour, anyways, Paul. It looks like 9 days in the Lower Mainland and the island. So Rick's going to get to see British Columbia, pretty well all of it. The Kootenays.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool because it's all working out. He wants to see the province, Paul, and this is perfect.
But the man you were talking about, would that be Joe?
The guy Joe in Vancouver.
Yeah, Joe. Like I say, Joe, from what I can see, I only just kind of came across Joel today myself. Basically I went on... My Twitter account's been shut down today. Apparently, I've been twittering.
You've been twittering too much?
I don't know, man. I didn't know there was a restriction on the amount of twitters you can do. But anyway, I've been twitted out of the Twitter at the moment. But anyway, like I say, I got this from Joel, and it was like, whoa, who's this guy? So I clicked on his little Facebook thing, and it went to his page, and there's like 3.5.
Wow, who is this guy?
3,500 people who've liked this page on Canada.
That's what I was telling you, Paul.
Canada.
He's gone nuts on this now. He's going nuts on it.
Well, you know,
so it's cool.
Yeah, what I was getting at is how many people are out there working about this, and that we haven't come together. You see, Barry, that was just the first part I was saying about the show. Although a lot of our energy now looks like it's going into Rick Simpson. The whole thing about it was to bring people together and get them networking. That's what Darkcity is designed to do. Okay, hemp is massive. I mean, it might have been nice to perhaps do just a little bit of aquaponics maybe first, or perhaps just get a little bit of land somewhere and have a few chickens. But yeah, okay. It's gone bigger than I thought. Much bigger than I could ever imagined. That's what I was trying to explain earlier. I saw a little portal site of people coming together and sharing their ideas, perhaps implementing those solutions, Now those are being put in, and we have actually done that.
I knew it was going to go crazy, Paul, because we're offering people an opportunity to bring together all these neat ideas and energies and focus them on one objective. And that's the way I kind of see it. It's a whole pile of people that we are going to form communities here in British Columbia. I see them forming now. Just with what's going on with this movement in British Columbia, there's all kinds of communities that are forming. Now, how they go about their business and exactly where they go with these communities. But I know on the island, Paul, there's quite a few communities now that are formed just behind the hemp movement.
Yeah.
And they're all very, very, very active. And now they're grabbing this trip by Rick and his visit, just grabbing it. And they're all very, very blown away that they're going to get a chance to meet the guy and talk to him and hear him talk in their communities. So it's a really good thing we got going here for him. And Rick's going to get to meet a ton. This is the whole beauty of it, Paul, is Rick's going to get to meet a whole pile of really, really good people on this trip. and he's going to get to see British Columbia. So it's like a win-win all the way around.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I'm just
definitely.
looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it so much, buddy. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
It's going to be fun.
I keep looking at things, mate, and every time I look at them, they've moved on a little bit. Every single time, and that's a really cool position for me to be in. It really is. As people know, we'll go on, we'll talk about Rick Simpson. I was saying he isn't about all that, but go on, will you? We set up. The original idea was to set up Indiegogo Go, and that's the stage 2. If people are familiar with this, if you're not, go and click on the banner at the bottom. Support the Compassion, Phoenix Tears Compassion Club. That's right on the Dark City Radio website, darkcityradio.com. And click on that button at the bottom, and it'll take you through it. And there it says the stages. Now, that stage 1 was what we actually devised because we're not prepared to wait any longer. We cut everything right back. We looked at it. And Lee actually pretty much prepared the information for an Indiegogo. We've got a little bit more to do, and we're waiting on the video from Rick. When we actually put that together, that was for the 30,000 we needed to get things going.
Right.
I'm going through it because it's not finished yet. You know, we're still working on it. Well, Lee's working on it, really. I'm just throwing in like, we need one of them. We need one of the other. Oh, take that out, stuff that in there. That's all I'm really doing, to be honest. He's putting all the leg at work into it. Now, when I come to look at that, we can do this. I'm pretty sure by the time Rick's done his tour, the financing for stage 1 will be complete.
I feel the same way, Paul.
I actually think stage 2, we could be looking at the purchase of land.
Within 6 months.
Yeah, quite easily.
That's what I think.
Yeah, well, the Indiegogo should be ready to go after this weekend. By next weekend, we should be launching it. This is Dark City. We don't take shit. We don't fuck about. Eh? We might not be many of us, mate, but can you see what you've done in such a short period of time? You're part of the Dark City crew, Barry. You know, we know this, there's no doubt there. You know, Sparky, he come back to me the other day and he's just sneaked off, so I'm going to jump this in while he can't hear, right? He's gone to the shop. He'll be back in 10 minutes, right? Sparky come to me the other day and he went, I know Audacity. So where have you been, Sparky? He said, I found the stop button. It's had me for 2 days. and he played me the Rick Simpson. He basically, he'd lived with what Rick's had been saying in audio for 2 days solid. And we'd asked Sparky, bless him, for a small little jingle. If you could, you know, could you do as a little 30-second clip? And he played me his first Rick Simpson. Orbit. Rick Simpson in Orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to that.
About 7.5 minutes in, he said, it's a bit long, isn't it? I said,
no.
I said, it is a little bit sparky. Yeah, it was brilliant. Don't get me wrong. It was absolutely brilliant. I mean, I want the full version of him if, you know, I must get it. But I'm like, it's a bit long. I said, how far are we? How far are we on the end? He said, we're about halfway. And I went,
he was having fun, Paul. What can you say?
Hey, but hear me out, man. Hear me out, bro.
Yeah.
So I says to him, it is. He said it is. It's too long, isn't it? I said it is, Spice. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But I never got to hear the other end of it. And he went, like something out of the Matrix, you know. I know Audacity. And boom, tink, tink. Following that evening, I'm doing the show. He's like, I've got it. Come on. I guess I downloaded it. That morning, we threw the audio. Lee came on. He's hunting out free video clips and bits of stuff we can get. I'm chopping it up, editing it at this end. Sparky's music, Chris Sparky's music, he got the music from Technoax. So Technoax's music, Chris Sparky's editing along with it. My Lee's video editing, because we don't really know anything about video editing. So we kind of worked that out. We shoved that together. I flirted it from the UK over to Spain, and Lee put all the text in it, because no point getting me to say text. It might look good, but it wouldn't be legible when people are reading it. And then it came back over to here, and I then uploaded it onto the Darkcity YouTube account, and all that took less than a day. One day.
Cool.
One day.
Cool.
And that's it. When we can work together, it wouldn't have happened. It just wouldn't have happened. You know, we couldn't have done it. We just couldn't have done it. Again, it's just a little thing. And that's because we'd actually said to Rick, well, if you ain't got the video for next week, we're going to do his own. I mean, I've got to watch what I'm saying, mate. I keep setting our team up here, or our crew, for a real bad beating. Are you waiting to get in, Lee?
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. It's about what it's been that long. Fucking hell.
Don't you hate when that happens, man? You're going to say something and you completely forget.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to ask
it.
Barry. It was a question for Barry.
Oh, no.
Right.
I jogged the memory.
In the States, the reservations, the Indian reservations, don't carry the federal laws. They open all the casinos up on them and things like that. They abuse it.
Yeah.
But is it the same sort of ruling in the reservations in Canada? They got their own rules inside their own society on the reservations?
You're basically correct.
So they can just legalize cannabis inside the reservations?
That's why I'm really going after talking to the native people here about this, because they can do it on their reses and the government can do fuck all about it. And that's the beauty of it. So I was going to tell you, gentlemen, that I have been treating a lady up in the NAS with oil here, and she wants to come on the show on Wednesday and talk with you folks. So her name is, her first name is Nelson, or they call her Nellie, and she's going to be calling from New Ianch on Skype on Wednesday on Rick's show. I told you about a month ago I was in contact with one of the elders up there that's battling cancer, and she's going to go on the radio and tell you exactly what she's experiencing since she's been on the oil. And I expect a very, very powerful speech from her. So I am trying very, very hard to reach the native population up here, guys. That's one of my targets. And like I said, I've set up a talk here with 3 or 4. One guy from Gitsagukla, the other one from Canyon City. These are the heads of the actual chiefs in these villages. And we're going to get together with Rick and have a little talk with them. That's something I'm working very hard on. They can do just about anything on their reses. And the potential, some of them are starting to understand the potential of implementing hemp back into our society and what can be done with it. And boy, these guys, they have money, and it would go nuts if they start going with it, guys. It really would. So a couple of avenues I'm really approaching hard. And that's one of them, and also the youth. Like I've talked before, I'm really going after hard the youth in the society here.
You know, Barry, just... I mean, I've said this a few times, and there's a lot of good people with what, you know, we've got more slave tokens than you or I, far good people. But many of the so-called people who are wealthy have investment, and they stand to lose considerably if things like this go ahead. If we can manage to, and we will, push the entire hemp roll it out across the world, then it will change how things are actually done financially.
It'll revolutionize the world, Paul, financially.
Yeah, it really will. That's why certain organisations are now, again, just recently, Big Pharma looking at their GMO strains of cannabis.
Yep.
That they're going to be using.
Yep. I've looked at those.
Now, I've said for years, the cannabis plant can be crossbred, and it just keeps coming up with wonder upon wonder. Of course, sometimes when you crossbreed 2 plants together, you come up with Frankenstein.
Oh well.
This is a skill I've acquired. It's something you can do, but again, it involves research. It really does involve research. When you crossbreed and you come up with a new strain, you need to be able to ensure that you know the parents. You can reproduce the parents, of course, because
Right.
you're pollinating to sustain that again. So let's just say we crossed a Barry with a Julie. As long as we can get all the Barrys and Julies, we could always make a Bajuli. Okay? We'd always make Bajuli. There's no point. There's no point crossbreeding Bajuli if we can't genetically recreate them. So it's important to have the original strains and keep the original strains going. Now, a lot of people who've done heirloom seeds and they understand about this, they've got it or they stand by this, because you know they do. You know they respect the fact that if you're gonna make a fancy tomato plant, then you need to keep its genetical ancestry. Okay. That's why that's really important. Forget about all the other fake stuff. As long as we can keep the genetic ancestry. And now, I know this is something that we're going to need to do. And this is more stage 2 of the operation. Of course, stage 2 of the operation needs to be a much larger facility. It really does. And if we are going to get up to purchasing land and building a facility, although we will build with thermal mass using the green approach, I suppose. I don't like to call it that because it wasn't green when the Vikings did it. You know, it wasn't. It was the only approach. So working within the land and what is available to us to create as little impact. I mean, obviously, when you do certain things and you dig away at a hill, for instance, you're going to have impact on it. But once we've finished, to have as little impact on the environment as possible. This is going to cost about the same as it would to build a conventional building. It's not actually cheaper to build a garbage warrior's house than it is to build a conventional house. It costs about the same amount of money. However, the overall running costs, what they actually cost, is phenomenally different. One is working with the environment, the other isn't. One is a long-term problem, the other is a solution. So for me, I don't know if they'll all work. I don't know if they'll all work. Some of the ideas we do will fail miserably. Others will be successful. And it's to those successes we've already had. I salute everyone on Darkcity. Everyone. For actually coming together. Don't think I'm not talking about the listeners, because you're on Darkcity when you tune in. People who download the links and the people who've passed them on. Joel, who I only met today, and that's what I was getting at earlier, when I went on to his Facebook, the links were already there. They were already there. I went on, and Barry was saying, yeah, we got promoted, and I went there, and he'd already done it. He'd already done it. This guy's already promoting us. I had no idea who he is. And I'm sure there are many more people out there who have yet to realise that Rick turns up on most of the shows, or not most, you can't tell. The Wednesday night, we start with Rick Simpson's show. We said we might run it as the Hemp Night. It'd be nice to have our Canadian brothers and sisters and our American brothers and sisters who started to join us last Wednesday, and the ones who've come in through the week from all over the world. It'd be nice for them, as the clock starts to move, for them to pick up, for the latter half of that, to be full of Canadians. Wouldn't it be lovely?
Don't be surprised, Paul.
Yeah,
You're
well, it would.
bombarded, buddy.
Well,
You are.
Look, I don't mind breaking things. I really don't mind breaking stuff. We can repair it. What's the worst thing that could happen? We break the internet. Let's do it.
Cool.
Let's do it. It'll fix itself. It's like nature. It'll fix itself. I don't think we should hotwire it any further, man. I don't think we should take his VW camper and start to try and jack into nature with a couple of jump leads. We're not going to kickstart it that way. So yeah, that I'm beginning to see now, Barry, how potentially massive this could be. Rick's been pulled me like this 2 or 3 times. We'll add zeros. I don't want to shoot for the stars. I don't. I just want to kind of give us a foundation to build upon. However, I don't want I don't want to limit that. Of course, if there's 20 billion trillion squoodles come into that account, Barry, if the doors open up with this one thing and it busts open that big that none of us could have ever imagined, collectively even, then
we'll just have to deal with that one when we come to it, Paul, and hopefully
the thing is, Barry, I've had a look, and this just means it be a full facility. We could actually put a full facility in.
Exactly.
We could. The potential of this is massive, absolutely massive. But we'll shoot low. We'll do his best to stay to the ground and make it real. But I wanted people to know is this: the idea of this founders will remain. It will remain. The Indiegogo that will go out as well. But hopefully those founders by then, they will be. Of course, people want a little bit of something. They want a certificate from Rick, or a signed photograph of Rick Terringham for 20 minutes, or Bob Notto for an hour, and this kind of thing, where the founders expected nothing. They actually expected nothing. Let's do it. There ain't nothing in return, nothing at all. If anything, their name. So they could say they tried, they had to go, they stood and they pushed and they had to go. Now I know Barry today. He wanted to remain nameless and anonymous, but I'm going to grass him up. Barry's done his today, so we've had another one. I think that's 6 contributors now altogether. I know there's some little guys out there who sent some little money. I know you're all there. It's just the logistics of it, okay? The logistics of it. I know you're all there. We can't put every single, one on there. That for 300, but yeah, I know some of you have decided to save up, and it's beautiful. What can I say? So we're getting there. We're moving along. Lee has actually has brought. I don't know if he's there at the moment, but we've made a few steps there already, as we said we would, and Lee's made arrangements to go up and discuss something with a lady and get some final little points on legal advice as we now start to put this into action on the purchase or setting up of this association. Will it be set up? So there it is. It's kind of like the idea of Darkcity, the idea of aquaponics, the idea of permacultures, alternative energies. They need a push. And once it starts to roll, it should do most of it itself. So yeah, I do think. I really do think with what was it? It's a Beatles song, isn't it? We're not allowed to use them anymore, are we? They're all psyop stuff. But well, do you know what I mean? Can't say anything or do anything. What was it? I'll get by with a little help from my friends.
Friends, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be seeing this grow exponentially, Paul, because a lot of people are really grabbing this idea, and like I said, I'm getting quite a few comments.
You've got the idea, haven't you?
Email about it.
The idea is open source. That's the idea, is open source. That.
Exactly.
Yeah, the plane just landed in
That was
yard.
a brilliant sound effect. Welcome to Darkcity,
Wow.
Richard.
How'd you do
You've
that?
just been beamed in.
What did I do?
Richard, did you beam in?
Yeah, I obviously did, yes. Of course.
He comes in peace.
Just zoomed in here. Beam me up, Scott.
Barry's our current leader. You need to talk to him.
I'm no leader. I'm just having fun, guys. I've never had so much fun in my life.
So, Richard, welcome to Darkcity.
Thank you.
You're not speaking from a far distant planet, are you, Richard? You haven't actually just beamed in. I have one question I must ask you, and you might not get the funny side of this, but you're not Dr. Spock, are you?
What does that mean? Do you mean if I'm a spy or?
No.
No, what did you ask? Sorry.
Yes, Dr. Spock from Star Trek.
Oh, No.
Okay.
I'm just a crazy Dane calling from the capital here. Yeah.
Capital of where?
Denmark.
Denmark. Oh, cool.
Oh,
Copenhagen.
right, Richard, you've changed your name. It's Richard, isn't it, from Denmark? Excuse me, Richard.
I did, yes.
You've
Right.
appeared as somebody else before me.
I was getting curious of you asking me all the time, is this Titans Radio? And, you don't even pronounce it like that. So I need to have a name now so you can see who's calling. Yeah. I have a question regarding the cannabis thing, because I know we talk a lot about Rick Simpson's oil, and it all sounds very good, and you have some technical definitions of how to grow it and all that. I'm a consumer on the smoking thing, and I have, of course, some doubts about how efficient it is when you smoke the cannabis compared to injecting it.
Well, not injecting it. You don't
Ingesting.
Ingesting.
We don't mainline it.
Be careful.
No mainlining the oil there, guys.
Well, you see, because I know, Richard, that it's just language, Richard, and I appreciate English is not your first language. But no, you're right, Barry, because Rick put it in syringes, and it's not the first time people have actually said, "Well, he's injecting it." No. That's just a convenient packaging for it. So ingesting, yes. I think that's just the language.
Right, it is. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, for me, man. And now look, I think there's a difference, and I've learnt this from Rick recently, because like you say. No, back off your microphone a bit, Richard.
Yeah, I know. I just need to close the window here. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. We could hear you breathing.
Yeah, it was the wind, actually.
Oh, okay, man.
Okay.
Thought I'd recognise you from late in the morning then. That's ringing me up on the telephone. I recognise that. Anyway, as I was saying is, social use of cannabis, that's what I used to call it, social use. I used to say, well, I'm all right now. I just use it sociably because I like to do it. And Rick pulled me up on that. And he went, that's preventative medicine. Now, with me, that is definite right. I mean, I'm not saying it is for everybody, but for me, I can't deny that. 100% right. 100% right. That's preventative medicine. So what I once thought was social use is now, I now know is actually preventative medicine. So bear that in mind. Just bear that in mind for me, because what I'm going to say is, it might sound a little bit weird, because I think when you're smoking it, you're actually alleviating the immediate symptom, the immediate cause, whatever's happening. The best, I'm saying the best, never the best when somebody's having a problem, excuse me, but the best example I've seen was multiple sclerosis, a guy with multiple sclerosis. Now look, maybe ingestion of the oil would be better for multiple sclerosis. Maybe it'd stop the attack. I don't know that. Okay, but what I did see was a man who needed help, to get this little pipe into his mouth and someone to light it for him. He couldn't do it, and afterwards he could have played the piano. Literally. He went from not being able to look after himself. So, is one better than the other? You couldn't tell that guy who was having that attack there at that time that he needed to ingest oil. Bang, he was there. So vaporization. You see, within vaporization, what's Rick's saying is carboxylation takes place. I hope I get that right. Carboxylation. Is that right?
Right.
Takes place. Is that right? And that's where and it's in that process, in the heating and cooling process. Now, there's more out there, and Rick will tell you, there's more to this. And that's really why I look, at the end of the day, we need a proper test facility. And as much as we'd like to say, right, well, we can do this, we can do it, and we can do this, there's no doubt about it, with the small number of us, which is getting more all the time. It could be vast numbers, and that makes it easier, but with that, like 100 people, like 300, bang, it's done. We've got the first step in. But what have we really done? Yeah, okay, we've put something there to generate an income where we can put Rick and he can start to do it. But really, we need a full test facility and a couple of 600-foot greenhouses and a tractor and this is what we're thinking about spending on setting up that thing. A lot of these places spend on their tractor. Okay, and the greenhouse, one of those greenhouses could cost us more than the entire association for stage 1 that we're putting in. We're looking at 2 of them. We could be talking hundreds of thousands of slave tokens. Really, that's what it could take. It's how big do we want to do it? How far do we want to go? What do we actually require? Well, as far as I'm concerned. This Darkcity and Phoenix Tears and this Compassion Club, that's about the entire holistic approach of hemp. The entire holistic approach, whether that's from shamanic practice, whether that's social use, whether that's medicine, or whether you're calling it preventative medicine or social use, depends where you're from. That's all it is. We're all talking about exactly the same thing. But we're coming from a different angle.
And you can also maybe hope for a person who is wealthy enough to just put a lot of money in this,
If they want to do that, man, yeah, they can put as much as they want. If somebody comes along now at this moment in time, wants to drop 100 squiggle in there, whatever it is, a trillion squiggle in there, they can do. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. What I'd immediately do is all the people that put a little bit in, I'd give all them a shot on the founder's stuff, and they'd get one go, same as anybody else. It doesn't make any difference. If they want to join in, they can join in. If they've got more to give, that's beautiful.
Right.
That's beautiful. Money doesn't ever you can't pay for what Rick's done. Money, you can't pay him. You can't pay for that. It's priceless. It is really priceless. There's, and I can say that about every single member of Darkcity. I can. Without any doubt at all. None. I have no doubt in my mind. They're all priceless. Every one of them. You couldn't put a price on any one of them.
Well, I think so too. So.
Yeah. Well, actually, every single one of us is currently for sale. If anybody's out there, and they do want to actually, they can actually bribe us for 30,000 pop.
What is my price on Rick's handshakes in British Columbia, Paul? What is our rate? Because there's going to be a lot of people wanting to shake his hand, and I better set the rate today.
Hey, well, I actually reckon it's worth $5,000 to shake Rick's hand. I think $5,000 to shake Rick Simpson's hand would be cheap.
It would be cheap. It would be, Paul. You can't
do hand sharings. You could do hand sharings. You could get a big group of people, and they could all hold hands, and Rick could get in there with you and shake on both sides, and then we could all have a shake together, couldn't we?
Right, but it would only cost you $500 a piece.
No, of course. This was Rick's hand did get worn out. Of course, in the early days, it was the ridiculous nature of it. This was the real ridiculous nature when we all came together. We all saw this in one another. Some people have got, and some people haven't got, and it was the ones who haven't who give the most. They always give the most, the ones who haven't. So, Barry, with all them people who've been sat on the fence, and fair play to them if they didn't know, because I know this information's been buried, not just by media and governments and the pharmaceutical agencies, but religions and historians, the media, they've all had a major role in burying this repeatedly. So, there's people out there who were ignorant of it, But there's them people out there who've known about this for years. Right? And they're turning up now going, oh, yeah, well, I've known about it for years. I'd like to put something into it. Well, I'll tell you what you want to do. Fuck off. You're not welcome. You knew about this years ago. You should have been there battling with the rest of us. Go and get in the queue. Of course, you are welcome. You will get in. But don't think just because you got a big bag of cash you can jump the queue. It don't work. It don't work. We're the little people. We're the little people. We're the downtrodden. And we're doing something about it. You know? We are, Barry. And we've all done it already. No one can knock this off us. We've all done this together. Every one of us. A little people coming together. We had now at all. We scratched together, we put it together, and we've continued to do that.
Can I ask a question? Where in Spain is it that the Rick is?
Now that depends who you ask.
Oh, okay.
If you talk to Rick, he'll go, all of it.
Yeah, of course. But is there a region where you have your plans on starting it up or
the East Coast now, down from Alicante down the coast, more south, that area.
In Cartagena again, you know.
Lee, help, Lee.
Yes, on the Costa Blanca zone.
Costa Blanca, okay.
There's an area just down from there, isn't there, Lee? What's that called? That it's quite famously known area for agriculture and stuff. And
well, that's down towards Andalusia way, aren't they?
There's people contacted recently, people in that area already. And like I say, it was organic, Richard. We didn't actually say, right, that's the place, and put this pin in this map and decide that's what had happened. It was organic. It literally was organic. And everything we can reveal, we do reveal, and as quickly as we possibly can. And we don't always wait for Wednesdays. We always kind of make sure everybody gets the information that's current about what's happening on Rick. But the Darkcity radio station covers all sorts of stuff. And at the moment, it's brilliant. It just kind of like seems to weave in and out of everything. I mean, on the other end of the scale, it was like Big Pharma. You know, the Big Pharma stuff. And it's like, I went looking the other day, and a great mate of mine, John Armitage, he does a lot of spiritual stuff, you know. He's a great teacher. And I went onto his site, on his thing, to post about what's happening to Rick, and he's posting about Big Pharma and don't let your kids have injections and stuff. And I'm posting underneath it, yeah, well, don't worry about Big Pharma. Look, you can come and be a founder of the Phoenix Compassion Foundation. Hey, come on. And I got it. These people are really tuned in, ready to inject chemicals into the kids. How tuned in could you get? You know, who are we dealing with? And John's there ranting at them, literally. His head off. And we're kind of doing the same. I know, it was Costo actually said to me a while ago, it's like a church. It's like you're preaching hemp and cannabis. Preaching it. And I can't really deny it. It is. I mean, it isn't. I mean, we're all doing things for the church. Well, what's the church? A plant. We're all doing things for a plant. Well, I mean,
it kind of leads to what Rick Simpson said about Jesus and the way he healed, the people. It was with cannabis and not the God's word, you know. So.
Now, brilliant. Within John's post to his group, it said, the doctors are not the new God, and their medicine is not the new sacrament. Yes, that's my personal, got a PA now, that's my personal secretary. Chipping in the background there, getting it right for me. So, and it isn't. And of course, I'm writing underneath it, Big Pharma hate two people. Two things. The first is hemp. The second, are bad boys. I consider myself to be a bad boy. I'm a naughty boy. And they tell me I can't do something. All right, then you can't do it. You mean you can't do it that way? Oh, I thought you meant you couldn't do it that way. I didn't mean you couldn't do it this way. Excuse me. No, you can't do it that way. And I'll go and find another way and another way and another way. And by the time they've chased me round in a circle, hopefully my brothers and sisters will have had time to put things into play. So, yeah, we're not going to be chased around anymore. That's it. I'm really seeing it. I've had difficulty with everybody else. Like, it's like, wow. How fast it happens once that idea starts to roll. And I think a lot of it is us being prepared and ready. It really is. The workload is phenomenal. Barry, like I say, he experienced it this week. And the floodgates of the email opened up. So, yeah, we can do it. We're going to do it, Richard. There's no doubt about it. It is going to roll out. We are going to do it. More and more people getting involved every single day. It looks like we might even be able to do it without me selling my house.
Hey, Richard, the floodgates open because the word got out that Rick Simpson is going to be in British Columbia. That's all it takes, my friend.
Okay.
So we're going to have a good time when he gets here. We're going to get to talk to people.
Like you say, Barry, like I say, I don't want to keep putting the blockers on it. I've been doing this for such a long period of time. I mean, we didn't think anybody'd do it. We honestly didn't. We've all been battered around with this so many years. When we had the idea, it was like, oh, well, yeah, I suppose it might be under, yeah, well, we'll do it. And then it began. It began. I mean, what more can you do then? It did actually start. People hit the button. They started putting €300 into the Rick Simpson. Excuse me, no, he's asked me to stop saying that. Into Darkcity Phoenix Tears Compassion Club. Because it is. It's not about individuals, it's about us all working together. So right on, Rick, I'll get it, if he's listening. You never know now, he keeps sneaking in and out.
I just messaged him. He might be in there right now because I just messaged him to call him. He's got a minute.
Yeah, that all kind of sticked off with the Flemings, really, Bernard and Martina. That was really funny. The cards weren't working. It wouldn't work, and Martina's wouldn't, and their husbands wouldn't. Their husbands would, and then they couldn't get hers to work, so they used her husband's twice. And Martina's actually the first donator, but her husband's down there as the first. And then, Andrew Langan, Hugh Wilson, and Martina, I can't see it. Anyway, Martina, and then today, Barry. Barry, joined them. Rick's got another 3. I'm one. There's another 3 of my mates down this end. 3 of us definite. Another guy who's like, I really want to do it. I'm going to go and get a job. We told him it's all right. I mean, it's like, he's even going to go work in Tesco's, I mean, don't do it, man. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? Your soul is not worth it. You've done really well. So, there's a lot of people pledged it, and I get that. There's a lot of people, and it is a lot. That's why we put it at that figure. It really isn't about them. They haven't got it. They're scratching it together to get it, and it ain't about that. It's like Richard said, there's some people out there with plenty of money. They can do it anonymously. If you do want to, I'm not going to ask this to everybody. I keep asking this. We will put it on there if you want. If you do want to remain anonymous, you can just say so. We'll just give you a number. You'll notice there's a number on the donations there as they're going up. Like I said, there have been other donations. There's not 6 people donated. There's $20 donations and 15 and some in euros and some in pounds.
Is there a target for this? Do you have a target somehow? In the stages we've got there. There's 2 stages. One, like I say, stage 1 is basically to get complete and get the association set up and running on the ground. Stage 2 is the full research. Rick Simpson Seed Bank. Well, Rick Simpson Seed Bank will be there, but on a much. I mean the amount of
300, 100 people at 330,000 euros. It works out about 35, but me and Lee reckon that if we actually work on it and do all the work within the building and the construction and that side of it, then we could trim another 5,000 off it. So we were talking on a real shoestring. The more we find out, the better it is, But that was it roughly. It worked out at 35,000 euros, I think. The first one, worked it out, and that was to rent a place. to do it in for 12 months, furnish it, set up the grow, and set up the association. I think that's all of them without looking. But what we've looked at is the stages. How it works is once we get the first two in, because that's the smallest bit, is actually the paperwork, to get the paperwork for the association, get it all set up. So get that done. That was the first bit, and then the next bit was to pay the rent. But again, we thought, right, well, you would probably they would let us pay a couple of 3 months rent rather than 12 months rent. And then a monthly rent. You can pay a couple of months up in advance. They'll be out let you do that and pay your rent. So we could actually get that in there. We'll be looking to get the rent and get over there and put a bit of furnishes in. But obviously not pay the rent or all the costs, the running costs or all that. For the early stages was about 35, I think it was 34 donations at €300. So yeah, it's 100 people at 300 euros. Of course, all those other people that have donated, I'm not taking anything away from them, but that was the target. If there is less, we'll do it for the less. We'll put it on the ground, get it up and running, and we'll do it for the 35. Or if we can't make the 35, then I'll sell my house and we'll do it anyway. We have got some other stuff to raise money as we get a bit more time. There has been some really nice pledges that have come forward, but people need time and stuff to get that, and they definitely do, as you know. They're not people who say they're going to do something and don't do it. So yeah, it's going to happen. But yeah, that was the target, €30,000 on the foundation thing. What we're actually doing now to set up that first foundation stone in that would be the Compassion Club, of course. Now let's say if it gets dead big and it gets dead big, let's say, like I say, I get up tomorrow morning and there's 500 people who have actually clicked the button. Well, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll make a bigger sign. We'll have to make a bigger sign, but what I want people to know is this is the first of many. The first of many. If we could actually get a full research facility set up there, then these Compassion clubs could be run out. It literally rolled out. Just got to get every single time that there's like in Canada now, where they're trying to go for legislation and changing the legislation. Every time that starts to happen, you could have the people there and the support that's required to show the sense in total decriminalisation and totally illegal, all rules and regulations pertaining to these three strains of plant, indica, sativa, and rubicus, or Indian hemp, should be completely unlegislated. It should be allowed free, just the same as any other agricultural product. Any other agricultural product. Of course, the governments of the world are going to want to treat it like tobacco, or they're going to treat it like, well, no. I mean, you're going to have to stop trading in food on your international markets as well, and if I have my way. Like I say, this is one of many fronts. One I'm committed to on a personal level. But, this is Darkcity Radio, and there's more to do, brothers and sisters. More to do. If we can keep coming together, then yeah. There's no doubt about it now. Barry and Joel today, Sumo Jack, Solmo Jack, right, over there, and many more, Miss Hazel, loads, I mean, too many to mention, really are, now, right in Rick's backyard. These are his countrymen. So yeah, we can do it. I've got no doubt. If we can stick together, just keep empowering ourselves, find ourselves to work, like I say, some work individually. It reminds me of Phil. Phil makes movies, and he actually said to me, "Look, when all don't get me wrong," he said, when it all starts to go successful, he said, I'll just drop away into the background if that's all right. I don't like working with large groups of people. What a wonderful man! What a wonderful man! How cool can you be, right? When to actually know who you are and how you react and let people know about it beforehand. How cool is that? That's something we don't see a lot of, I don't think, nowadays. We really don't see a lot of it. So yeah, we've had some great people come through Darkcity and some brilliant support. Like, have you just fell off your stool, Barry?
I'm just sitting here taking it all in, man. Listen to this cool conversation. No, you're right, Paul. I mean, like the limits of what can be done with this boggle the mind. And I'm thinking big. I'm thinking in the future what we can set as a president in Spain, as a president for the rest of the world. We have to stop all aspects of criminalizing a plant that can change the planet. And that's what we're all working here in our own little ways. We're all working at that objective. And this is such a big step forward, buddy. It's such a great concept. And I'm 100% committed to this. I think a working holiday in Spain might just be in order. Come over and help me build these greenhouses, bro.
There's no holidays. There's no working holidays, Barry. They're a long way off, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard work. A lot of running around to do. You know, that's the way I see it. We've got to kind of pull together. Just example, Lee's over on the ground there, and his missus, they're running around, doing a lot of work running around. All right, they've got to do that. Maybe we can't speak Spanish, so we need one of them. Well, somebody else has got to help them do what they were doing.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm cool with that, mate.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we haven't got organization skills, Paul. Somebody's going to come along that does, you know?
You know, if I've got to clean the toilets because somebody's got better secretarial staff than, you know, talents than I have, then, yeah, get on there. What you doing? Get on the computer. I'll do the toilets. You know, what's the problem? Give me a brush and a shovel. Let's get
toilet cleaning, I will go.
That's it, you know.
Whatever it takes to make the ball roll, man. That's the bottom line, Paul. Whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have talents, eh? We all have our own talents. And we'll just pull them together. And nothing will stop it. Nothing.
Well, there is actually, you know, nature could actually just get a bit worried about this, you know, because this is all moving that quick, you know. I mean, the planet might actually just spin off its axis and, you know, all this positive vibe and all these people coming together and working as a collective, like, actually just may crush any kind of negativity that's ever been on this realm.
Exactly.
And fundamentally change the way we live forever.
Well, that's my dream, buddy.
All right. So the reptilians aren't going to crack open the planet then?
No, not tomorrow. Not
Well, that's all right.
Not in Canada, anyways. I haven't seen him over here, man. But hey, Paul, think about this, man. Think about the impact that Mr. Simpson's going to have talking to all these people in BC. Because I know the impact he had on me, man. He has such a great impact. He's such a nice guy. He's so amicable around people. They love talking. People listen to his clips here, and they're telling me they're really looking forward to talking to him, man. He sounds like such a sweet guy, blah, blah, blah. So just imagine the impact he's going to have with the people he's going to reach in BC here. I know he's going to impact a lot of people, Paul. I know he is, because he impacted me, man. And if he has any kind of that effect on any of these people down there, look out. They're going to be 1,000 or 10,000 of us pounding on the drum. And that's my objective, my friend. Wake them up. I keep getting back to the young people, Paul. There's going to be one that comes out and they're just going to go, hey, you know, this is it. This is what we're doing.
Get in. Are you trying to get in there, Richard?
Yeah, I just wanted to also say that, well, you're saying it, Barry, about the young people. It's important that they get they get the news about this and they get convinced about how it is. Well, I need to say another thing, because I also have a thing regarding this cannabis smoking, because I have a disease called Charcot-Marie-Tooth, which is related to actually, you know, muscle, when you lose your muscles. And I have a lot of pain, and therefore I smoke cannabis. That's why I smoke it, you know. And what about those people regarding to this the Compassion Club? Could they also get treated with this, or because as I understand, cancer is the target group for the patients, right?
No, all forms of
okay.
disorder.
Yes and no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes and no. The main target, of course. The main target is for people of the compassion side of it, bro. Is to be able to raise enough capital and finance so we can pay for people who can't get it to come and have it. Okay, that's it, and you know that's on the most, and I can't decide. I can't say who them people are. But just let me give you a little bit of this, and this might right for you. I mean, it says it in the Compassion Club. It's for social use. It's for social use. Okay. But, you know, you have got many. Nobody's taking that away from you, man. But let's just say you were perfectly healthy and you wanted to take cannabis preventatively. It's preventative medicine. That's what they're calling social use.
Okay.
Yeah, they're calling it social use. I'm saying it's preventative medicine.
Yeah.
You know, Rick is. I didn't. I used to say social as well.
Okay.
You know, in myself. That's why I was doing it. And I think if people want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if
That's what he also said yesterday about the addictiveness. You know, when he says addictive, when you are addictive, you actually, well, I think was quite clever to say, because you get rid of some pain when you use cannabis, and you are not, when you're addicted to any drugs or anything. That's what he actually said. You get some pain away by doing that. And
yes, it works. Richard,
Yeah.
the other day I threw my back out, and I shouldn't even been on the radio because I took a half a gram of oil. And after about an hour, my friend, I could not feel any pain in my back. But I was a bit of a giggly, babbling idiot, but the pain was gone.
Yeah.
And that I'll personally attest to, so it works.
Yeah, it does. Well, it
But, you know,
works
to target-
perfectly on me. I have tried 5 different medicine, products from the doctor, which gave me a lot of headaches and a lot of, what do you call that in English? When you have bad reactions on a medicine, what do you call it? You have side effects, of course, side effects.
Right.
And then I started smoking some pot, actually, some Danish pot, and it was very nice in the start. But in the start, I was celebrating a lot that this was so good, so I got really, really social, if you can understand that one. But then
Maybe I make a suggestion to you, my friend, is actually produce some oil and start ingesting oil
Yes.
on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like a third of a gram a day, 3 times a day or twice a day, will build up the cannabinoid levels in your body, where it'll actually attack your disorder and perhaps straighten it out. I'm not an expert. I don't profess yet because I'm still really grasping all the effects of the cannabinoids. But go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
Is this muscle wastage? What's known as
Yes.
Yeah, man. Give it a go. Seriously.
Yeah, like produce yourself some oil. Like go on Rick's site. Producing the oil is very, very easy, Richard. And produce some oil yourself and start taking. The one lady that's using it here is taking a third of a gram a day. The first week that she did it, she was a little bit in la land because she hadn't had THC before in her life.
It's too much.
And of
That's
course
why
it has that effect.
Barry,
But
Barry, a third of a gram a day is too much. To start.
If you take it at night, Paul, before you go to sleep, then you're only experiencing the effects for 2 or 3 hours in the morning.
Yeah, but
Barry,
it's much better to start with a tiny amount of just like a piece of rice,
right?
The size of a grain of rice. You with
Right.
me? That's all. That's all you need to start, and then slowly increase it until you can get up.
Well, I'm saying that to Richard, Paul, because he sounds like he's a smoker, so he's already got THC.
Yeah, but
right.
Bear in mind,
starting.
Yeah, you were using me as a yes.
Yeah, bear in mind, there's a lot of people who listen to this.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, of course.
And that's why.
Let me clarify that.
Yeah.
First time starter on THC, it will have a very, very euphoric effect on your body. And Paul is right that you start with a very, very low, maybe a fifth or a sixth of a gram at night the first couple of days until your body starts building up a resistance to THC, and you can increase your dosages quite readily after that. Anybody that's doing it on a heavy dose right off the back that's battling cancer will be in almost a comatose state, but after about 10 days, they're almost to a point where they can function normally in society, yet they're still taking a gram of oil a day. Your body builds up a resistance to it pretty quick.
Yeah,
but yeah, you're absolutely right, Paul.
This is another reason why we need to be able to make sure that people are getting batches of oil, and that there is. If you change the oil, You know, if it comes from a different source, if it's a different plant, the resistance is going to change. Okay?
Right.
So it's really important that the strains are actually
tested.
Yes, this is why.
Exactly.
You see, this just going to this.
And all this is set on the website from Red, yes.
Yeah. It is pretty much laid out. I mean, like I say, a lot of my knowledge comes from first-hand experience. It really does. The medical side of the use of cannabis is not really where my expertise lie in this at all. But you know, the experience I've had over the last few months and the amount of people who've come in and what I've actually heard and what I've actually seen and the information,
it's overwhelming.
What I'm actually saying, Richard, is if you do produce the oil, it's a good idea to be able to produce it in one batch. Now, I know for a lot of people that is not doable because of the expense. Depends where you are. To be able,
yes.
Yeah, to be able to produce enough. Another reason. You see that. Let me get to this bit that was written. I was looking for earlier. The aim of the Cannabis Club is to finance Rick Simpson in creating the cannabis seed bank for medical cannabis strains recommended for the production of RSO, Rick Simpson's oil,
right.
and the Cannabis Association to allow Rick to legally produce RSO, supply RSO treatments to those who need it most. That's stage 2. That's what it's all about. That was the aim of actually doing it. So to be able then to take the surplus, yeah, let's say, you know, because you can only have so much stock to suit your members. So once we get up to a point when you're like, right, okay, then that's there, that's that, we've got amounts left over. Those amounts there, then once they're made up, they're labelled to that patient or to that member. Yeah, of the association. That's theirs. It'll be put in a freezer. It's theirs. It's labelled up. There's their medicine. Made from, and that's also tested as well. So we actually know what level of medicine it is, and what, there it is. That no longer belongs to the association. That is the medicine of that person, that individual, whoever's name's on it. So it belongs to a member. So therefore, then. If you do want to actually do a treatment, Richard, and we're saying like, well, I don't know. I have had some experience with this. I can't mention who it was with. Of course, that's a bit to them to come in. And it completely disappeared. It was in the left buttock. And, it was, like I say, it just wasted away. It's like a hole, but no hole, obviously, covered with skin. But it's like a hole, and it completely disappeared. But whether or not that is, again, this is why I'm saying it. There could be a lot of other things that are affecting. We don't know. You don't know. So if you do this, it's really important that the information's put down.
Yes.
There will be questionnaires for people. We need to know what they're eating, what they eat on a daily basis,
yes.
what the diet is. And if they're like, oh, well, I want to eat that, well, you eat that. If you want to kind of keep doing everything that's not be you, carry on. There's the medicine, but we need to know it. We need to know the truth. If you are going having a Mars bar, just tell us the truth. Because if it doesn't work and you die, then hey, well, no, that's research. Fine. If you do want to follow it, then the odds are you won't die and you're going to be fine. Are you with me? But it's all the truth. That's what's important here. Is that we do be able to produce this in amounts that people can have it put there. Then people like yourself can actually do this research. Even more if we could actually get it where we've got medical staff, you with me, trained medical staff now, because it is about encouraging everyone, doctors and nurses, to be able to take this data and do it within clinical trials. You know, this is where we should be. But you know what we're looking at? What does it cost us to open up these kinds of places? Well, this is where we will go. This is what we'll find out. This is how far it's going. I mean, it'd be a lot easier if they just went, oh, come on, forget it, yeah, you've got us hands down, and allowed us to use their facilities and started telling the truth about what they've already found out. Stop holding up the research within cannabinoid systems and you know how they can benefit us, and stop the lying, cheating, thieving scum in the banks and the pharmaceutical industries and the petrochemical industries and the paper industries and the cotton industries, which have actually, you know, demonised this wonderful plant for long enough. You know, of course it'd be easier if you do that. But by the time, Richard, we wait for that, then and you'll be a grandfather, and you'll be telling your grandkids how wonderful it would be if we ever got hemp legal. So, yeah, I think that's it. We've got to do it. We've got until they do, you know. And by that I mean until everyone on Earth kind of goes, hang on a minute, that's a damn good idea. You don't get peeved off because you know other people come up with it. It's your idea. It's not our idea. It's your idea. It belongs to you. We can all share in an idea. So yeah, man, there it is. That's where we could go with it. You know, that's where it could be. Full hospital facilities, research facilities, where we've got medical staff that are coming there to do the full kit and caboodle. And let's find out. Let's find out if this is going to help or not. Especially when their so-called medical science has failed.
Totally. Completely.
You know, let's find out where it's failing. Give it the opportunity it deserves. What, you know, and if they don't, well, we'll just carry on. We'll just carry on. What else can we do? I honestly cannot sit here and read about any more dying children without doing something. You know, I can't. Just can't do it.
Well, it makes me frustrated also because it's so... You can get information about this on the internet so clearly and so clarified that you get frustrated over people not knowing about this or even talking about it. And I heard about this, but you know, there's a lot about saying that to take action somehow, and that's really frustrating, I think. And also the system, how they are in the pockets of the big pharma and. Yeah.
Well, frustration, bro. You know, as a male, okay, I'm not getting sexy, see you ladies, okay? As a male, right, if you don't do something about that frustration, eventually you'll get angry.
Yeah.
And if you don't get angry, you're going to get sick. So that is unabridged emotion. It needs to have creativity.
Yeah.
Give that creativity and that tension and all that frustration that's built up, that's been making us ill, can be changed around in an instant.
Yeah.
We have got it. You're quite right. For long enough, we've been frustrated into a position about things we can't do anything about. You know, I can't do anything about children being bombed now. You know, I can't do anything about that. You know, I can't do anything about the lying, cheating banks. You know, I can't. As much as I support people that do the best in the courts, in their illegal bullshit courts, and you know, the best they can do. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't do anything about it. As much as I wanted to stop gas fracking coming up the east coast of Britain, it's too late. They've already done the damage. They're smashing their way through it now. Water tables started to get destroyed already. You know, it's only a matter of time. There's nothing I can do about it. It's too late. You know, I can't do anything about World War II. Hey, it's too late. I can't do anything about, you know, the invasion of Poland. I can't, you know, what can I do about it? What can I do about 9/11? What can I do about 7/7? I can't do anything about it. It's too late. Here, I see before me an opportunity before it's too late. Before it's too late. Now, to me, that's different. That's different. We have got something. We can make this real. We can. Well, we already are. We are making it real. The more we talk about it, the more we discuss it, the more grounded it gets, the more we go, hang on a minute. We've already joined together from all over the place. They're coming in ones and twos, one here, one there. Well, yeah, within 3 months, tops. We'll have them, won't we? We'll have them. 100 founding members. 100 founding members. And for that, we can begin. Right. Some people are like bashing down the door. Other people, they're timid and scared. You know? Like you said, there's people out there with a lot of money. Yeah, there is. But do they listen to Darkcity Radio? I tell you someone who's really, another countryman of Barry's actually, a guy called Dean Clifford. I got actually an email, a brilliant guy. He's put the whole email, whole website on it. You kind of can get to it still through the link he's put on. So it's still okay, you know, but I thought it was quite funny. Where is it? Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, it's quite a big email, but basically it goes on about the Cancer Act, 1939, basically, and that's about a big rant on it, and then goes on about basically about how many people, you know, have died of cancer, you know, and he lists loads of people. He lists loads of people he knows, right, in this email, and if you are on his email list, this would have gone out. And it's actually sent to, there's some amazing people on his email contact list, police and all sorts of people. But anyway, he actually mentions at the bottom of it, and I do thank you for this, man. It is brilliant to be recognised, especially by somebody like Dean Clifford. Let's let me find the paragraph, excuse me. Here we go. What in God's name is happening? The only radio on the net giving out information about the cure for cancer is darkcityradio.com. What about all the other so-called alternative news channels on the net? 1 second. This is saving many people's lives all over the earth, including innocent little children. Why? And who and what for? How would anyone want to stop this? Blah blah blah. www.darkcityradio.com. So you know we got when you get somebody like Dean Clifford raving about why we are the only station. Well, I can answer you that because we're the only non-corporate stream. There's only us. There's only us. You know, in one sense or another. And I do know there's a lot of good people out there. Being duped by being, you know, and a lot of people are now setting up others and others. And I just ask you, like, you know, every time we form a group, another group or another station or another, we're actually just chopping ourselves up and dividing our forces. Like I say, we've learnt that here. Put our bygones down. Don't stop reaping retribution. You know, like I said, even the rich elite, they're welcome. They're welcome, you know. They're welcome. I haven't got a problem with people who are ignorant of this. I really haven't. It's the willful ignorant ones. They're where I have my issue. You know, there's who have lied and cheated and stolen and made a profit from this. You know, I don't have to forgive them. I mean, I do, as it stands. I do. I get how they could have got into that position. I don't blame them for this. You know, as Bob said, Bob Earthwise, you know, he said, just don't look any further than yourself, you know, look into the mirror. Just look into the mirror, don't look any further than the mirror. You need to blame.
Sure.
So I don't blame him for it. You know, if anyone, we've allowed it to get like this. It's up to us to change it. No one else is going to do it for us.
Why? Well, you know, some of us have actually had another belief than, you know, another point of, you know, view on things than now, because you know, if you try to be manipulated by mainstream media and so on, you have a totally different approach to things than when you wake up and you see what's going on. So it's a good thing to have been there also. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of, bro.
Yeah,
kind of.
Because I've been manipulated with in a lot of years in my youth and believing that the doctors the state gives money.
No, really, Richard. I get what it is, what you're saying, bro. It's not. Don't make no sense, no, man. I get what you're saying. You're dead right, but it doesn't make any sense, does it? That we could actually get in that from where we are now. You know, you're dead right. We have been had over. We trusted them. We believed in them.
Yeah.
We did.
Yes.
You know. Now, like I say, a lot of them doctors. Well, they just repeat what they've been told. He doesn't say it in the book. If he don't say it in the book, well, he don't tell me that in the book. No, like I said, I haven't got an issue with them. But when you get told, don't start, and you get told, and you get told, and you get told, then it's a difference then. Like Rick says, they aren't, they do know, they must, and if they don't, hey, they got a job to know. Yeah. But I do get here in the UK, a doctor don't get time. A GP here don't get time to be able to go and study new stuff. That's coming. He's bombarded. He's got 8 minutes, come on, in you come, that's it, sit down, there you go, that's it, here you go, feel that, touch that, have a go with that, take them, catch you later, come and see me in 2 weeks, blah, 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 you don't come back. If you don't come back, he's either, your medicine either worked or you're dead. Yeah. I mean, and if it didn't work, you come back and he's like, oh, there you go, same thing again, over and over and over. You can't blame them. You can't blame them.
I have a story to this. I actually have to mention this because the last medicine product or pill I tried was, I got the receipt for it. I had to have a what do you call it? You go to the pharmacy and you have this paper and then you can get the medicine. And anyway, I had the the pill called Marinol. It's called M-A-R. It's spelled Marinol. It's maybe it's this way in Denmark and another name in another country, but it's supposed to be marijuana in a pill and cannabis in a pill. And after I got the permission to get this, I read on a page, and have in mind that I already started smoking cannabis by this now. So, but I read on a page that this was minimum. It was like 0.01 THC, which is really serious, nothing in it. And they said that it was a placebo pill, and I was already there. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have this because this is another scam from some dirty company who makes this pill. And worst thing is also that it costs around for 30 pills, one pill a day. It costs in pounds. It would be for 300 pounds for 30 pills.
Yeah. We have a spray here that is used, which is cannabis, basically, as you say, diluted, which comes under prescription.
Prescription. Yes.
Things. Yeah. So it's a rip-off. Like you say, it's a rip-off. Because you could make the stuff for about £70. They charge about £280. Ridiculous. Yeah. Really is. It's a con.
But is it also the same? I mean,
yes.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's blended. It's an indica and a sativa plant that are put together. It does actually say on the bottle. I haven't got a bottle. I can't tell you what it actually says on it. But Sadama actually read it all out for us. What it actually contains, and a bit of peppermint oil and stuff, and some.
Is there not a synthetic THC tablet that they used to give
a while ago? Yeah, but it actually was massive depressant
or something.
Yeah. I don't know if they still use it.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe
because it was also a really bad depressant. It made people feel. They removed something, didn't they? It was.
I think they tried to synthetically rebuild it. What was the THC compound out of petrochemicals and shit.
Wasn't nice, was it? I actually saw a video of a woman who took it. She'd never used cannabis. She'd gone over to Amsterdam and smoked some. I think she may have had maybe a cake, what many people call brownies, what we used to call space cakes in the UK. And so she'd tried some and she'd been happy and she'd been all right and she'd had a lovely time. And then she went and took with a doctor and took some of this. And she was like, this is horrible. I mean, it was like the difference. It was visible. You could see it in her face. She was having a real bad experience with it. So, yeah, it's one of the things about many plant extracts. When you extract them from the plant, of course, you'll never get 100%. It's going to contain trace elements. And cannabis seems to be one of the plants that has got everything in there. It's built-in antidote. All right, I say is if people are using cannabis to calm themselves down, then they want to be looking at indica strains, as Rick's saying, that you should be using for the medicine, because if you do have too much, if you do have, you go and think, oh well, I don't know how big a gram is, and have a spoonful or something, you're going to go, yeah, and go to sleep. Just let yourself go to sleep. Just let yourself go. I mean, of course, some people will fight that, and you really need to be in the right environment around the right people. It's every time I start to talk about this, and believe you me, over the last couple of weeks, I've tried to talk about many other subjects. It just keeps coming back round through this subject. I am endeavouring to steer away. But every time I do, I get that. Wow, it would be just so easy if we had all this set up. If we have got that, this is what we call stage 2. We've got in the beginnings of the Compassionate Club. We can accept members, and we can start a building project where we can, put these wonderful ideas that have been presented to us on Darkcity, over the last few months. It would be brilliant to be able to give, if nothing else, somewhere where we can actually try some of these things out. And some we already know. They're already tried and tested. Like I say, some of it will be experimental, especially on gathering this information. I know there's loads of people out there that have already done it, but now we need to put it into a format that they've got to look at, and present it to the medical and the scientific community. Present it to them. How they want it presenting. Find medical students, find people who know this information, who can teach us how to present this information to them. We've got it every level. This is what we've got to do. Like I say, I can't do it all. No way. I've got skills, and I'm willing to share them skills that I've got with everyone, potentially. But we've got to make that real. We've got to make that real.
I think you should go find some rich man or woman for that case, and and just persuade them to put the 30,000 quid in, and go on with the project.
Oh yeah, we're going to get, we're there anyway, man. You're quite right. Go and persuade them. Like I said, the Indiegogo will come on. It will start to happen. The Indiegogo. That will come up. There'll be another video coming out with Rick now. That's got to come out to promote his book, and to promote this Spanish adventure, the Compassion Club. So it's really important. Really important, so that we get that next stage in, and that I think now needs to be opened up to, like you say, the rich. They can have. I mean, if you've gone down Indiegogo, it's quite funny. You can have. I mean, I've gone to if I get over there and I start doing this with Rick, I mean, if somebody wants a seed naming after them, when we get these new seeds there in the seed bank. Yeah, it's like, what? To us, like, you're like, what? That don't make anything. But I tell you, man, that's a nice little badge for some of the people out there with lots of money. And this is it. Do they want to help? Do they want to do that? I don't know. It means nothing to me. It really means nothing to me at all. It really doesn't.
Gentlemen, there's thousands and thousands of millionaires in this planet, and I know one of them's going to grab this. They're not all stupid. I mean, just the insurance companies alone should really be doing their own research on these new reports that are coming out about the effects of cannabinoids, because what they can save themselves in insurance money and premiums and medical costs every year would be just astronomical. I know that Progressive Insurance in Washington, when the big campaign was going on to legalize it in Washington, they had invested almost $6 million into marijuana and cannabinoid research themselves as an insurance company. And those reports now are available on the internet, and they're called Progressive. They're one of the biggest actually insurance companies in the States now. But this was during the Washington campaign. That information was passed on to me the other day. It was kind of interesting, and I've been looking at that. So people are starting to look at this, guys. I mean, this is going to go planet-wide. That's my dream, is to see
I've got
fields
to put in
and
on you
fields.
there, Barry. We're all out of time, bro.
Okay, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We're just slightly
Okay.
over, and we're trying to trim them down to at least minimum 2 hours blocks.
Yeah,
We're doing
cool.
2 hour
Well, that's
blocks.
fine.
So,
That's fine.
but yeah, brilliant way to end it, Barry. Brilliant, and Richard is with us as well, and Andrew there sat in the background, quiet. Sparky and Lee have been with us throughout it, and I suppose I can't disagree. And it's not up to me to say yeah or nay. If you are rich and you do want to contribute, please feel freely.
Yeah.
Feel freely. I'll even put your name up or not.
You can remain anonymous.
That was the that was the Dark City show, folks. Thanks for joining us always, and you lot out there for tuning in. The people pressing on the buttons and sharing the links. Please, you have to do it more. I've been booted off Twitter now. I'm a troll. It's official. I am an official Twitter troll. I'm going to play one from which is a combination music. Another thing that happened because people coming together here on Dark City between Vosto. He should be back off his holiday soon. I do miss the Count of Dark City. It was not the same without the Count Vosto. I do like that. And also with Jabba, they came together. This is future.
You are part of a dark cannot jump up and look so I can jump cannot half of the world does use a telephone yet, and over here a new generation born with internet, facing a mass revolution that they call progress. Live for the all alone and workless, less stress, mobility, no more offices. The world as a workspace, this is what you're facing. Face it, embracing, mixing all our races, shifting all our forces. New world order trotting on its courses. No one can look so far, no one can pretend the future. Still a one step from us. No one can paint the stars. You are part of a star. No one can look so far. You are part of a no one can pretend the future. Take your power, but no one step from us. Don't give them more of that. No one can paint the stars. Your future is you. No one can look so far. No one can look so far. No one can pretend the future, but I can see. Still a one step from us. It's what is inside of no me. One can paint the stars. You are part of a dark cannot jump up and look so I can jump cannot jump cannot. You are part of a dark jump up and look so I can go find resources in out of space. Have a microchip installed and your heart replaced. Robotics modified genetic codes. Without notice, it's time to switch on digital mode. If you are immigrant to the second world, a stranger to its customs, rules and verb, you might witness a cursed generation flirt with the devil, and eventually you will convert. No one can look so far. No one can pretend the future. Still a one step from us. No one can paint the stars. You are part of a dark. No one can look
new beginning for mankind. New beginning. New beginning. Finally, after all these years, what I have been telling the public about the healing abilities of these oils has all been proven to be true. Well, of course, I'm Rick Simpson, and this is the Dark City Radio Show. Dark City Radio Show. Dark City Radio Show. Dark City Radio Show. This is about the medicinal use of cannabis. Lately, we've been trying to get this thing going together in Spain, so people can come and get treatment, at the Compassion Club we hope to form. Dark City Radio's Compassion Club we hope to form. I had the pleasure of coming into contact with Paul Hayden and all the other great people he is working with at Dark City Radio. Compassion Club Week to utilize this magnificent plant in every conceivable way. It will do much to promote peace and harmony among nations. Peace and harmony among nations. Being a new beginning for mankind. So I hope you will support our plan to build a better way of life that will give both mankind and this earth as we know it a future.